What's happening, Saints fans? Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's show. As always, my name is Trace Gerard. No matter where you are or how you're tuned in, we greatly appreciate the Who Dat Nation for making us a part of their day. Today's video, you clicked on it because you probably saw the Jamar Chase trade rumors in the discussion topic of this video, the title, the thumbnail, whatever you want to call it. But here we go. Why are we talking about it? Adam Schefter, earlier, just a few days ago, about a week ago, tweeted this out. Jamar Chase has no plans to negotiate a long-term deal this season with the Cincinnati Bengals per source. So I saw this. This was game day for the record when the Saints absolutely beat the piss out of the Cowboys. I saw this tweet, and I quote tweeted it with this. What do you think? What initial thoughts, one-word reaction. Come on, sick, bitchin', awesome, yes, all of those are acceptable. I think this would be a really dope move. For the record, Mikey Taylor a while back asked for us to make this jersey swap, so I'm glad that we got able to bring it back up and show it once again. But, guys, come on, let's talk about trading for Jamar Chase. That would be unreal if we could manage to bring Jamar back to the boot. I mean, this year, things have been a little slow. Hasn't started off too good. Joe Burrow's kind of been shaky to get things started with the season for the Bengals. But last year, he was really good. 2022, he was really, really good. 2021, he was really, really good. And you know what else would be really, really good? Is this potential offense. I mean, could you imagine this group being Derek Carr's main weapons? Not to mention you also have Juwan Johnson. You also have Foster Moreau. You also have A.T. Perry, Bub Means, Cedric Wilson, Jamal Williams, in the future, Kendre Miller. You're telling me that you don't want a little bit of that? Jamar Chase in the black and gold once again? I mean, I think that he could be a really good player. I think he could be a really fun addition. Is it realistic? Not really. But should it happen? 100%. I think it should. He is a phenomenal wide receiver. And this isn't me trying to tear down the Bengals, but when you have a poverty franchise like them who just refuses to spend money, you're not going to be able to keep around top playmakers. Joe Burrow, he's a good playmaker, and he has a lot of money, or he deserves a lot of money. Jamar Chase also deserves a lot of money. So if the New Orleans Saints are willing to move some money around, make something happen, and figure it out, are you kidding me? You don't want him back in Louisiana scoring touchdowns? Come on. When I tweeted it out, the response on social media was through the roof. So I expect the response from this question to be also pretty positive. Would you trade for Jamar Chase? I'm not saying, is it realistic? I'm not saying, will it happen right now? I'm saying, would you do it? Are you interested in it? Because if you're interested in it, we can take a further deep dive into this later on, and we can even, look at it and see how realistic it could possibly be. So let me know, trade or pass, would you make this trade, sound off, and be the GM for me? Now coming up next, we're going to take some questions from our subscribers. So if you haven't already, be sure to turn on your notifications and subscribe to the channel because this next portion of our show comes directly from our live show every Wednesday around 4:30 Central Time. But you would know that if you were subscribed. And you'd also know that if you turn on your noties. So really fast, before we get into some mailbag questions, I got to give a big-time shout-out to Factor Meals. And if you want to meet your wellness goals this fall, you should check out Factor Meals. They have a delicious menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never-frozen meals are dietitian-approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great-tasting meals. And with 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll have new flavors to explore. Make every single day delicious from breakfast to dessert and stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Head on over to factormeals.com/SaintsChat50 and use code SaintsChat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. In this economy, you're dang right it is. Use code SaintsChat50 at factormeals.com/SaintsChat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. All of that information is in the comment section
and description of this video. Thank you to Factor Meals for making today's show possible, and thank you for sponsoring or for supporting Chat Sports and supporting Factor Meals. HF with our first question, a $5 super chat, excuse me. So shout out to him. Clint's got experience against the Eagles defense. Needs to punch them in the mouth and not let them up. Yeah, I totally agree with you, HF. I think for Klint Kubiak, he's got to be dialed in on this run defense especially. What I saw from the Eagles' run defense is that it is pretty much non-existent. So with the Saints, their offense, like we have known, and Klint Kubiak's been very upfront about the fact that the run game is going to be a big factor for the New Orleans Saints, and getting the team grounded and the offense grounded is a big key to the offensive success. Could not agree with you more. Got to hit him in the mouth. Got to keep things going. And to be honest, I just want to see this team shock another set of fans and beat the absolute brakes off the Philadelphia Eagles. HVAC Dad, did you listen to Parsons' new podcast episode talking about the game? I have not gotten the opportunity to listen to it at the time of filming this video. Hopefully by the time this is actually posted, we'll be able to talk about it in the comments section and whatnot, but I do plan on listening to it tonight. I'm excited to see what he has to say because I'm excited to see what he thinks about Trevor Penning and Taliese Fuaga for absolutely locking him up and clamping him down for 4 quarters. 9Just Gaming, while wide receiver is flashy, would it make more sense to trade for O-line, and if so, who? I'm actually going to be honest. I don't think you need to trade for anybody on the O-line. Right now, you don't. You have the number 1 center in Eric McCoy, according to PFF grades, for the record. You have the number 1 center in Eric McCoy. You have the number 1 guard in Lucas Patrick. Taliese Fuaga has been stellar. Trevor Penning is playing really, really good football. Cesar Ruiz is playing good football as well. So, in my opinion, unless you get like a major injury, I don't think you necessarily have to trade for an offensive lineman. Like, why not go get another receiver? I'm kind of in on it. But if there are injuries, like, maybe this is something that we have to talk about. DJ Mut King says, would you rather an option like T. Higgins or Jordan Addison over Devonte Adams? See, I like Jordan Addison a lot, but you have the speed threat in Rashid Shaheed. Chris Olave is also fast as hell, too. Don't forget that. T. Higgins, I really like T. Higgins, but if it's between T and Devonte, I'm going to go Devonte because he knows what it's like to play with Derek Carr, and he has that built-in connection and that built-in chemistry, so that's a little just bit more appealing to me. But for the record, I also really, really like the idea of adding T. Higgins. I don't think it's realistic, but I love the idea of it. Rima, do you think that both Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed can have 1,000 yards receiving? Fun fact, Rima, I actually did a hot takes video, I did 5 bold predictions for this season for the Saints, and one of my bold predictions was that Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed would both be 1,000-yard receivers. I believe it was my bold prediction number 1. I think it was actually my first bold prediction of that video. So yeah, I do think that they can do it. And they right now are showing me that they will do it. Kendall Taylor, should we trade for one more wide receiver, Davante Adams or Courtland Sutton? Man, it would be fun to go get Davante. We talked about him on a recent video. I had a whole 10, 15-minute breakdown. So if you want to go and see what my full thoughts are on that, I highly encourage you to go check it out. But short answer, I think Devonte Adams would be a lot of fun, but that would be an all-in move. Courtland Sutton, maybe it's a little bit more realistic because I don't think would be as expensive as a Devonte Adams in terms of the trade, but they're both good options, and I'm not opposed to adding another wide receiver for this season. Who do you see as possible targets if the Saints are going all in? One of those receivers we've talked about so far, Devonte Adams is the first one that comes to mind. Maybe you go and get, I don't know, man. There's really not it's tough because literally every part of this team has played well so far. There hasn't been a single weak spot on the team. Maybe if you wanted to go grab another safety or another linebacker or another defensive lineman. I don't know. This team so far has been really good. Outside of wide receiver, it's kind of just them. So Devonte Adams maybe. Jamar Chase, it's unrealistic, but maybe. I think those are 2 really, really intriguing options. Honestly, I just don't know. through the first 2 weeks, there's not a lot of holes in this team so far, or at least that we can see of. Jerry G, will the Saints finally give Kamara a contract? And 2, will the Saints go 3-0 on Sunday? I think so. The reports at the beginning of the season were that Alvin Kamara was done with the conversations of the contract talk. He just wanted to focus on football and stuff. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it indicates. I don't think you should read too much into it. I think he just wants to focus on football. He has said it multiple times. He's been on the record multiple times, and he wants to be a Saint for life. That being said, you got to make him a Saint for life if you're going to do that. And I think he has given the New Orleans Saints front office no reason to not want to do that. So to answer your first question, yes, I think the Saints will do it. Will they do it now? Maybe just like go ahead and clear up some money so they can spend it now. But it'll happen. It'll happen this year, unless something crazy happens, like a ridiculous injury. Knock on wood. Will the Saints go 3-0 on Sunday? I'm going to say yes. Nico, what is the record between the Eagles and the Saints the last few matchups? So, looking at it, the all-time record, the Eagles actually lead it 19-16, but the Saints in the playoffs have a 3-1 lead, so that's pretty interesting. But dating back to November of 2018, the Saints have a 3-2 lead over the Philadelphia Eagles. The most recent matchup was on New Year's Day, Saints versus Eagles in Philadelphia. Gardner Minshew started, and the Saints won. Marshon Lattimore pick 6, if you guys remember that one. The one before that, November 21st of 2021, the Eagles dominated the Saints 40-29. We all wanted to forget that game. I remember that one. On December 13th, just a couple days before my birthday, the Saints broke my heart 21-24, and they lost to the Eagles. But in the playoffs of 2019, the Saints won 20-14, and in November of 2018, the Saints won 48-7. So those are the 5 most recent matchups. Let's keep it going. Last question coming in from Rima. Do you think that 23 will play in lockdown Smitty? So he was a limited participant on Wednesday. This video, for the record, this live show was filmed on Wednesday afternoon. So at the time of filming this, the only information we had available was what we had on Wednesday for the injury report, and that was that Marshon Lattimore was a limited participant, and Dennis Allen was wanting to ramp him up every day to make him a full participant with the idea of him playing. Will he lock him up? 100%. 150%. They don't call him Lockdown Lattimore for nothing. And also, if you remember last time they played against the Eagles, he got a pick 6, so that'd be pretty dang cool. You know what would be also pretty cool is if you subscribe to the channel and you help support us in our growth and our journey to trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. It's a lofty goal. It's very far down the road, but we recently crossed over 32,000. When I first took over this channel, we had less than 2,500. So to see where we're at now is absolutely incredible. But I'm not done. Job ain't finished. We're shooting for the moon with trying to be the biggest channel in the whole wide world on YouTube. So y'all stay golden. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.